All right, boys and girls, what we have here is another linear regression problem, and we are going to be using our calculator, kind of like how we learned in the last video for D, to get some of this stuff without wasting a whole bunch of time. All right, so let's get right down to it. And then there are a couple new problems down here at the bottom that I will talk about as we go along. It's not that big of a deal. So here we go, away we go. So we begin by setting up our calculator with whatever lists that we have here. Okay, and where we go again for this first correlation coefficient, I'm not going to do hardly any of the work, as we go to calc. Sorry. You go to calc, regression, I think it's X regression, and then the A plus BX. Again, my calculator doesn't give me that option, so when my answers come up on my screen, just note that my A is your B and my B is your A. So I'll make the adjustments, but if you click that button on your calculator, the A plus BX, your calculator is telling you exactly what it should. All right, so here it is, calc, that's the F2. I want the regression, that's F3, the X regression, that's F1, and then again, you have to hit on your calculator one more option. However, what I see here is our R in this problem should be negative 0.9594. Good enough? Okay, X bar and Y bar I can worry about at a later time. I'm not that worried about it right now. I'll come back to it. Letter D is asking for what is A. Letter E is asking for what is B. So again, A, I have to make the adjustment. You don't. Should be 39.7607. And the B should be negative 0.4964. Leaving the equation for the least squares line to the y hat is equal to A plus B, so that would be a minus in this case, X. That's A plus BX. Before we get any further, actually, no, I'll stay right here. A new variable, a new thing is the coefficient of determination. Coefficient of determination, that is R squared. So literally, if you were to go back to this top R and square it, that is exactly what R squared is. But also note that your calculator straight up says what it is right there. If you take a look, A, B, R, and R squared. R squared is right there. So that's 92.04. Now, the next problem is what percentage of the variation of y can be explained by the corresponding variation in x in the least squares line? That is this coefficient of determination, the answer of G. Coefficient of determination as a percentage. So this is going to be 92.04%. Always going to be like that. All right, let's go back and get the X bar and Y bar. Again, where I'm going to find that is I go calc, and then 2 var. That's where it's going to be found. So if I exit all the way back out of here, I go calc, 2 var, and then I can find these answers in there. So X bar is 47. Y bar is 16.4286. All right, last but not least is this letter I, and it's asking me to make a prediction. So what you do is this, and you need to show a little bit of work when you do this one. So you begin by the formula that you wrote down in F, the formula of the line. So that's 397607 minus 4964x. Okay. Now, I'm not so interested in the numbers that are here, but rather the important part of writing down this formula is for you to identify that there is a y and an x in this formula. There is a y and an x in this formula. And before I do anything, before I put in any numbers and do any math with this, what I need to see on your papers and what you need to show is that you know what y and x represent in context, aka the story. So if I go back here, I have this x and y, but what is the meaning of x and what is the meaning of y? All right, so y is the percentage of all fatal accidents at a given age, and they don't really define x. X is your age. X is the age. So for instance, this would be 17-year-olds, and this is the percentage of fatal accidents due to speeding. Okay? So if there's a fatal accident, 36% of them are due to speeding. So X represents age, and Y represents the percentage of fatal accidents due to speeding at that particular age. Now, the reason that I harp on this all the time is when people sit down to do these problems, what a lot of times they do is they say, oh, 25. 25 is X. And they always put it in for X or whatever. They just see a number and then they just enter it at reckless abandon into your formula. And that would be absolutely incorrect in this problem, because 25-year-olds is not the X variable. 25-year-olds would be the Y variable. 25-year-olds would be the Y variable. So if you put it in for X, that would be absolutely incorrect. Instead, 25 is now the Y variable. Again, how you would solve this problem is you would subtract off the constant and then divide by the coefficient. So in this case, let me go back to my main actual calculator. So 25, I subtract off 397607, and I divide by negative 0.4964. And so X is equal to 29.7355. And that would be the percentage of fatal accidents due to speeding for specifically 25-year-olds. So we can make an accurate prediction. So again, the new pieces of information is this letter G, which is the coefficient of determination. That's R squared. The next question directly after that is going to ask for like a percentage of Y by X, something like that. And all it is the coefficient of determination as literally written as a percentage. And then the most work is I, and that is just an application of the formula that you wrote. So write down the formula, define what your variables are, and then make sure your number gets into the appropriate into the appropriate variable. Okay, let's go ahead and do it again, this time for question 2. So where we're going to find everything is calc, regression, X regression, and then again, I don't get the option. You have to hit the A plus BX, not AX plus B, but A plus BX, and then your variables will be correct. Mine are correct, but just backwards. All right, so here I get my R of 9192. Again, I'll jump over X bar and Y bar. I'll come back to it. A is 6.5407. B is 1.0110. The least squares line will be y hat is equal to A plus B X. The coefficient of determination, R squared, is equal to 0.8449. Next question is, what is the y can be explained by variation of x, and that's 84.49%. The last problem, again, I need to go back and still take care of x bar and y bar, but I'll just kind of keep this momentum going here. I start with the formula that I have, so y hat is equal to 6.5407 plus 1.0110x. I need to define what the heck is y and what the heck is x. So I go back to the very top. I see that y and x and y the number of TV ads is x, and the number of cars sold is y. All right, so here they sold 30 cars. They sold 30 cars. So if I sold 30 cars, that 30 is literally the letter Y. So 30 goes in for the letter Y. Again, algebra skills, you subtract off that and you divide by that. So in this situation, X So I subtract off that constant, and then I divide by the coefficient. That'd be 23.2041 ads. So as I said, I do need to go back to the X bar and Y bar. And where that is found is in my stats. I go calc to var. So I see that the X bar is 14.5 and the Y bar is 21.2.